800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Welcome in to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're really easy to find if you watch that way. Just search Picks and Parlays on any of your favorite social media platforms, and we'll be right there waiting for you to join us. Happy Halloween. Today is Thursday, October 31st, in case you were wondering the numerical date, because it is Halloween. Obviously the big story. If you have seen on social media, some athletes are really getting into their Halloween costumes. I'm going to go out and say it. LeBron is better than MJ when it comes to Halloween costumes. Not basketball. But this year LeBron dressed as Edward Scissorhands. And he looks really creepy if you want to check it out. Last year he was a clown from It. I think the name is Pennywise the Clown, and he looked incredibly creepy. So it's always fun to see people getting in the spirit of things. We've got a great show lined up, but first, we've got to touch a little bit on last night and the history that was made in the World Series. The Nationals, of course, defeating the Astros for the Nationals' first World Series win in franchise history. It's been a long time coming for the Nats, even though Washington, D.C. already got their hockey championship this season. So, or I guess it was last season. The Blues won it this year. But what a World Series. Everybody from day one thought it was going to be the Astros. At one point, the Nationals were 50-1 to win the World Series. But somehow they pulled it off with timely hitting. And they do have a good rotation. Steven Strasburg named the series MVP, and for good reason. Odds to win 2020 World Series, the Astros still the favorites, 4-1. And for some reason, the Nationals still don't get much credit. They're 14-1, while the Dodgers and the Yankees are both 5-1. Moving on to today's show, if you're wondering what's coming up, Premier League picks, NFL, and college football rapid fire. It's all coming up on today's Picks and Parlays. Stick with us after the break for a little soccer.
Hey, Nick, just so you know, Chelsea was echoing really bad there.
At 28, I had struggled with opiate and meth addiction for 12 years. I did and said things that the sober me never would have done. One day I realized I was not invincible. I was not exempt. And that's when a friend told me about elite rehab placement. They gave me the tools I needed to get sober, and all it took was the one phone call.
Elite Rehab can help you start to break your addiction problem and get sober in as little as 7 days. And we'll work with your insurance provider to help cover the costs. Plus, we have travel assistance programs to get you here by plane or train. Make this free call right now to learn more. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. 800-403-5912. That's 800-403-5912.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on ConsumerAffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-371-9608. That's 1-800-371-9608. Call 1-800-371-9608. Call now.
Money Now 100 is not a lender, broker, or agent of any lender or financial advisor. We do not make loans or credit decisions. You must be 18 years or older and a U.S. resident to qualify. This is not an offer or solicitation to lend. I went to MoneyNow100.com and got the $5,000 I needed deposited in my account the next business day. If you need money for any reason, help is here. Go to MoneyNow100.com and get the money you need. Need to pay off credit card debt? Go to MoneyNow100.com. Need your car repaired? Need home improvement money? Visit MoneyNow100.com. If you need fast cash for any reason, go to MoneyNow100.com. Good, bad, or no credit at all. Go to MoneyNow100.com. You could get up to $5,000 as soon as the next business day. Go to MoneyNow100.com on your phone, tablet, or computer. Type in the address bar MoneyNow100.com. That's MoneyNow100.com.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger. It's just my name. That's my handle. If you want to give me a shout, happy Halloween to everybody out there. If you have any fun plans, you can post it on our Facebook. If you have any good Halloween bets that you really like, we always appreciate your feedback on Facebook. Right now, we're getting to some soccer. We've got Premier League picks with Nick Gieber because he always gives us some good picks, and usually he is pretty good at picking some good winners and some good value. Hello there, Nick. I see you didn't dress up. That's okay. I guess we'll give you a pass.
I'm going as a scary middle-aged plus man. I'm plus because I'm unlikely to live till 108. So that's the plus, I think. But yes, I'm going as myself. Of course, my 10-year-old will be going as some scary pumpkin or something. By the way, Chelsa, I have to congratulate you on your outfit. You look magnificent. That pregnancy outfit you've got really suits you.
Pregnancy outfit. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but we'll let it slide.
You only got a couple more weeks.
Yeah, if we make it to then, because it's, I don't know, we'll see. You can bet the under or the over if I'm going to make it to my due date, because right now I don't think I'm going to make it. So I think the odds-on favorite is to come early. But anyways, let's move on to some of these soccer games. I wonder?
We'll have to put them up on picksandparlays.net.
Oh, man. And then people will be waiting to see for that first picture from
Oh, absolutely.
And cursing me if they lose, which I don't know if I want to put myself out there for that. But, yeah, let's talk about some of these soccer games. First off, let's go Bournemouth, Manchester United. I know that's one you want to talk about. But first, I've got a question to ask you.
Yeah,
I know there's some League Cup matchups during the week. I noticed you don't give picks on those.
No, I really don't, Chelsea. Actually, it's funny you asked that. I've had a lot of the people that follow me or follow us here at picksandparlays.net ask me on Twitter where my League Cup picks are, and I generally don't give picks for the League Cup. All you had to do was to look at the lineups that played yesterday. Liverpool played basically their under-12 team. Man United and Chelsea basically played their full team. Arsenal played their full. You just don't know whether the managers are going to take it seriously enough to actually want to put money on it, and then if they do, it's just a crapshoot. Look, I say stay away from them. Yeah, you can hit some big wins on them, but it's too unpredictable for me, Chelsea. Too unpredictable.
And that's why we have you on the show, because we need some smart insight like that. Because sometimes staying away from bets is just as smart, as taking a bet.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about taking some bets. Let's get to that Bournemouth Manchester United game. Bournemouth plus 234 in this one. Manchester United plus 155, and the draw sits at plus 268. What's the play you're liking on this one?
Well, that draw's got bigger. It was plus 252 when I looked. So I will tell you this, though. Bournemouth are looking for their first win in 5 matches, and they haven't scored in 4 fixtures, most recently getting a 0-0 away at Watford. United are coming off a 3-1 away win at Carrow Road. Look, it seems to me like the feel-good factor is coming back a little bit at Man United. I think the fans' patience in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to pay off in the long run. They still have a lot of injuries. And again, midweek, they knocked Chelsea out of the League Cup. For Man United, Marcus Rashford is starting to find some form. And that can only spell trouble for the Cherries. But the big question is, will Rashford and Harry Maguire be playing? They both picked up little injuries midweek, although Solskjaer says they should be good. They're young. They'll get over it. I love it when a manager says that. It really takes a former player to pipe up like that. Look, I'm going with United here, Chelsea, despite the season. But look, despite the fact that this season, Man United has had the sort of form that gives sports bettors heebie-jeebies. They've been all over the place. But I'm going to pick United to win this one. It is away. It is at the Vitality. And I'm going to say, as you pointed out, United plus 155, Chelsea.
And I know sometimes you give exact predictions on some of these games, and you've hit a lot of them. So feel free to sprinkle in any of those exact predictions if you like them on any of these games.
2-0.
Let's move on to 2-0?
2-0. 2-0 United, or 0-2, because they're the away team.
Wow, you sounded very confident in that. I wasn't expecting a pick right there, but as you
Bournemouth
can see,
haven't
guys,
scored in
Nick,
4 games, Anyway, let's move on, shall we? What's next?
All right. Crystal Palace, Leicester. One big note on Leicester here. Their last match, they won 9-0, which set a league record because if you follow soccer, 9 goals is a lot, and especially in a shutout. Pretty dominant over Southampton in that one. Crystal Palace is plus 265 in this one. Leicester plus 121. The draw is plus 255. What do you like in this one?
Well, the odds are squeezed down on the draw quite a bit, Chelsea. I don't like the draw on this one. Look, this is a great match. Both of these teams have found a little form of late. Palace have been playing well despite a 2-0 loss to Man City, but lost to Man City, okay? But that was after their epic 2-goal comeback against Arsenal, and that was great for Palace. But the question is, was that just Palace being good, or were Arsenal just showing what a truly crap team they are? I'm kind of mixed in between there on it. Leicester, though, they're on absolute fire, as you mentioned, following their 9-0 dismantling of Southampton. Southampton did have a man sent off early, but that shouldn't result in a 9-0 scoreline. For Crystal Palace, Zaha has scored in his last 3 versus Leicester, more than any other side. But look, Brendan Rodgers, the best British manager in the Premier League, I think he gets it done here in the capital, although quite frankly, Leicester City have what? I think they've won in their last 14 matches in London. This is a trip to London. They are going to win. Leicester City plus 121.
All right,
and
next
the scoreline,
up we've got
2-1 Palace. Pardon me, 2-1 Leicester. Yes.
I was going to say, don't go against yourself.
No, I won't. I won't do that. I won't hedge my bets that way.
All right, let's move on to Sheffield United and Burnley. Sheffield United plus 129. The draw is plus 225, and Burnley is plus 259. Are any of these plays sticking out to you?
Yeah, Sheffield United, certainly. Chris Wilder, Sheffield United. Look, this is at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United, they're looking to extend a 3-match unbeaten run. In fact, the only team they've lost to in the last 5 matches was a 1-0 home loss to Liverpool. They're 2-2-1 in the last 5. That's really pretty good results for Sheffield, sitting in 8th place. Sean Dyche's men, though, they'll likely be with Chris Wood and Phil Bardsley without them. And Danny Drinkwater's still out for another week. That's going to really hurt them. With Burnley sitting in 13th, that's only 1 point behind Sheffield United, though. This actually is a really important match, and I don't think one they can afford to lose. By the way, this will be the first. Here's trivia for you, Chelsea. This will be the first time these two sides have met since 1976. Now, I remember that well, 1976, but many people don't. And Burnley did win that fixture 3-1 at Turf Moor. Oh, I'm going to go with the home side here, though. I'm going to go with the Blades. I'm going to say Blades plus 129, 1976, Chelsea. You remember that? I don't think so.
No, I was not alive.
That's what I meant.
So no, I was not watching soccer.
But our next guest most certainly was.
Oh no, here comes the old jokes for
No,
poor
I won't
Chip.
make any more Chip Chirimbes old jokes. I do love to,
well,
though.
his picks are good, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And also,
by the way, his picks
Nick,
are
where
en
can
fuego.
Nick, where can people find you if they want to hold you accountable on Twitter? Because if you don't know, Nick has a very strong following on Twitter for his picks, and they also include me in the tag sometimes, so I see all of it. It's
all right,
very
Chelsea,
entertaining.
I'll tell you what, I can be found at Nick Geber, that's Nickgeber, and if you want more of me, if you just can't get enough of me, and I know for most of you, that's the problem you guys have, then you can find me every weeknight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, on Sirius XM 211, live on Dan Patrick Sports for a full hour, doing the beautiful game Monday through Friday. We cover all these, and tomorrow we'll be giving our complete 10-game Premier League preview show for our listeners.
All right, always good stuff from Nick Geber. When it comes to soccer, when we get back from the break, we are talking American football, NFL, and college football on Picks and Parlays.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on ConsumerAffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-371-9608. That's 1-800-371-9608. Call 1-800-371-9608. Call now.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably? A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're actually really easy to find. Usually the first thing that pops up on all of your favorite social media platforms. I am your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger. And right now we've got Chip Chirimbes, who's got his best Halloween tie on. I like the look, Chip.
Yeah, not bad. You know, we're very seasonal. We have a lot more coming up in the future as well.
Oh, I see some foreshadowing to some nice Christmas looks.
A little Shakespearean there, foreshadowing.
Yeah. I always like to talk about my favorite Halloween candy. And for Chip, it might as well be Red Hots because, Chip, you've been super hot in some of your picks, 5-1, your last 6 NBA, and on a 15-4 run in college football.
Yes.
What's been working for you? What's your secret? Are you going to tell us today?
Well, you know, sometimes I guess I can. You know, sometimes it takes a little time for everything to get together. In the first month in September, I was struggling. But when 7-1 on Saturday, and we've hit a whole string of games on those Thursdays and Friday games. As a matter of fact, Thursday night tonight, I have a special release on picksandparlays.net between Appalachian State and Georgia Southern. There's an NFL game as well that we have posted up there between Arizona and San Francisco. But, you know, it just things just start to come together at the beginning. Sometimes you're not getting the information that you really need, but it really seems like from here and the rest of the way out, I have a lot of confidence in what we're doing.
Right, now that we've got a bit of a larger sample size. So let's move on to some of these NFL games this week.
Okay.
Lions, Raiders. The Lions are the underdogs in this one, which is something new for the Raiders. They're not really favored in a whole lot of games, but they're favored in this one -2. The total sits at 50.5, and it's the Raiders' first home game in 48 days. That's wild.
Since September, September 15th was the last time I had a home game, Chelsea. And I've never seen that happen in the NFL before. Part of the problem here was that they were credited for a home game when they played in London, and that was squeezed in between 2 other road games before and after. So I think the Raiders might be happy to be at home, where they've dropped their last 2 overall, and you know, this Detroit team is kind of surprising to me as well. They're 3-3-1 on the year, 4-3 against the points. And, you know, they're 5-1 against the number on the road. But Detroit has a problem. They put points up, and they seem to be able to falter and stay in games until the end, and then they falter. They've allowed 26.6 points per game. And, you know, the Raiders this year are 4-3 against the points, so they've only won 3 of their 7 so far. They're vastly improved, Chelsea, on their running game. They're averaging over a yard more per carry this season with Josh Jacobs from Alabama leading the way. And the Raiders are 7-1 against the points after a straight-up loss. They're 3-1 as a dog at home, but they allow 27.5 points a game as well. Now, with these 2 teams, which always seem to be able to falter at the end of games, both of them, Oakland gives points away and gives games away in the 4th period, as well as Detroit. And I think that the way to play with this is to go over. They have the running game now in Oakland, which we haven't seen, and we know Detroit, when Matthew Stafford certainly likes to put the ball in the air. I think there's going to be plenty of points here scored. Oakland being a little, I don't know how familiar they're going to feel being in the Coliseum back in Oakland, but I think the play should go over between these 2.
Well, I have a little stat nugget for you regarding that. The total has actually hit the over in 4 of the last 5 games for both of these teams.
Well, there you go. So maybe I'm on the right side of that trend. And, you know, it isn't too – trends, I like to play with them. I like to see what they do. They certainly – remember that these trends always end up over a long period of time, for the most part, close to 500. So when you see a team that's 10-2, and in another 4 or 5 years, they may be 11-7. So, but they are something to base history on and what we're doing here. And I thank you for that. And I think this game is supposed to go over.
Right. I think one thing about stats is sometimes you have to look critically at some of the facts surrounding them. But that is what I like. We'll move on to the Browns and the Broncos. And speaking of stats, Baker Mayfield, his stat line has not been good. 6 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, including one of the worst interceptions I think I've ever seen against the Patriots. When you throw out an interception underhanded.
Yeah. But, you know,
how does that happen?
Well, I don't know if these guys are trying to bail out, or they just don't have the sense and the discipline to hold on to the ball at times when they should. He is only a second-year player. But, Chelsea, you stole my thunder with that stat. 12 interceptions, only 6 TDs. And, you know, maybe the way to go for the Browns is to run this game. Nick Chubb is averaging 5.5 yards per carry. And, so maybe this will be the answer for Cleveland. They have these big, wide studs, Beckham and Landry and great receivers. But if you don't have a line to keep the defensive off the quarterback, those receivers don't have time to get open. So the pressure that's being put on Mayfield is really one of the reasons he has so many interceptions. Now, Denver, who's been atrocious this year, they're 2-6 overall, 1-3 at home. They are 4-4 against the points. New quarterback for Denver this week. I don't even know who it is, and we really don't even care. Joe Flacco's out.
Allen.
He's out. Allen might do a great job. But, they've gone 10-1 under the total at home in their last 11, and they must rely on their defense with a lack of a running game and a quarterback situation that's in flux all the time. We're really not sure who's going to be out there for Denver, but they have to pride themselves on their defense, which they seem to play really are much better at home than they do on the road. Under for Cleveland has gone 3-0-1 the last 4 times they've played against winning teams. Now, Denver's not a winning team here, but neither are the Cleveland Browns, and I don't see them getting to that light very soon. Though the Browns, Chelsea, I must admit, had the toughest first half schedule in the entire season. It's going to be a lot easier on the back end, but you still have to go out there and play and win, and Denver is struggling as well. These 2 teams have also rants. I mean, I don't know which way you would want to go here, Chelsea. I mean, do you take the points, have Cleveland being favored on the road, which is kind of absurd, or do you play the total? I'm really in a quandary here. It's not a game that I'm looking to use either way. My instincts would tell me to take Denver because you saw Mayfield walk out on a news conference this week with a reporter. They've got more issues than just winning ball games, and some of them are off the field. They had them last year, and I don't think they've gone away.
And the Browns also lead the NFL in turnovers and penalties. So it's been a team that doesn't look very disciplined. Just to frame it up, the numbers on this one, the Browns are favored -3, and the total is very low at 39, if you're wondering those stats. Well, what's the play you liked on this one?
Well, the 39 is kind of telling. That's telling that these teams are going to have trouble scoring. And, part of the problem, like you mentioned it, and I think that's a key factor. How do you score points when there's so many penalties? You have to make up so much yardage. If you have a big play and there's a holding penalty, it gets called back. And this is what's been happening to Cleveland, as well as the turnovers. Like we said, 12 interceptions, only 6 TD passes. I think I'd take the home team, Denver, even though they aren't rated as high as the Cleveland Browns are for sure. But they are at home, and Cleveland, I think it just may be a lost season for them.
All right, let's go on to our next game on the docket. The Patriots and the Ravens. The Patriots are favoring this one -3.5, which actually looks pretty low to me. Considering how good the Patriots have been. They're 8-0 and 6-2 against the spread, and the only 2 times they haven't covered, they missed it by 1 point against the Bills, and the other time is when they put Jared Stidham in at quarterback. They were blowing out the Jets, I believe, and he threw a pick 6. And then after that, Tom Brady demanded to be put back in. So for bettors, the Patriots have been really good. Total is 45.5 for this one. What's the play you like in this game?
This is a Sunday night matchup, and like we have said before, on these standalone games, where the NFL is on, say, a Thursday night, a Monday, or a Sunday night, I've gone 17-6. We lost by 1 point. I did have the wrong side with the Steelers on Monday night against Miami, but still, in the NFL, we're at 17-6 this season on these standalone games. So the side in this game, I'm going to have on the website on Sunday on picksandparlays.net. But there are some interesting trends, and there are other ways to make money on this. This New England team is 6-1-1 in their last 8 road games, but they've played 24-9 to the under on the road. Part of the reasons that their point spread record has been so good, and it's fabulous, as a matter of fact, when you're 6-2 and 8-0 straight up, 6-2 against the number, the level of competition really hasn't been the strongest. We're aware they play Miami twice, they play the Jets twice, and that AFC East is so weak. And the Baltimore Ravens have come from who knows where. This is a team that at the beginning of the year, when we did this during the summer, Chelsea, I don't know if you remember, I had said that I thought the Ravens were going to have a down year. I thought that people had overreacted to Jackson. Well, I was wrong about that. Look at them. They're 5-2-1 as an underdog. They're 5-2 on the year, though they've only covered 2 of the 7 games. The last 6 times that the Ravens have been at home, they're 0-6 against the points. But one of the key factors here, Chelsea, is the fact that they were favored in all of those 6 games. But coming out of a bye week, I think this is where the trends are, where things will play together in this game. Coming out of the bye week, Baltimore 8-3 to the under. And that's a pretty good winning combination. You put that with the fact that New England has gone 24-9 to the under on the road. These two seem to come together. So right now, I'd say that's the way to play. I look for the Ravens to come up with their defense. And, of course, New England has the best defense in the league right now. And like I said, maybe that's because of the level of their competition. But I'm sure Bill Belichick's going to come up with something to try and negate that running game of the Ravens, which is led by the quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Right. I think that's the only way that the Ravens contend with the Patriots in this one is if they can run the ball effectively. Because as good as that Patriots defense has been, they let Nick Chubb run for 136 yards. So they do give up some yards on the ground. And as we know, Lamar Jackson is a pretty skilled runner himself, almost averaging 7 yards per carry, which is incredible.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
No, I wanted to get in that if you stop Jackson like San Diego Chargers did in the playoffs last year, they just totally negate him, and you force him to throw the ball downfield and maybe not these just swing passes, you might have a chance. But I think this game stays under Belichick's defense. Go ahead.
All right, got to cut you off. Got to go to a break. Always good stuff from Chip. We're back after the break.
The Michael J. Fox Foundation built a guide to help. Visit michaeljfox.org/PD360 to download the Parkinson's 360, a guide for navigating the disease. It's free and available right now. That's michaeljfox.org/PD360. Visit today.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Discount travel sites say they have the best prices, but Hilton.com has the price match guarantee. Look me in the eye. If you find a better rate, they match it and take 25% off. Yeah, well, this is radio, so just stare at the radio. Hilton.com has the best prices. Pinky swear. Or, radio swear. Plus, you can choose your exact room and get free Wi-Fi. Cross my heart, stick a needle in my radio. Expect better. Expect Hilton.
Must be a Hilton Honors member. Applicable terms and conditions at Hilton.com. Pinky swear.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Happy Halloween to everyone out there. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me on Twitter. At Chelsa Messinger is my handle. And we are to the part in the show where we do a lot of college football picks. and we hope to pick some winners. It's college football rapid fire, and it's back for another week of good insight. We've got Tony T, Craig Trapp joining us. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Chelsea.
All right. Big fans of small talk. But that's okay. That's okay, because we're getting to our picks, and we've got to cram in all these games. So let's get cooking. Let's start with Michigan and Maryland. The number 14 Wolverines are favored by 21, and this one total sits at 56. Michigan 6-2, 4-4 against the spread. Maryland 3-5, 4-4 against the spread. Michigan, of course, coming off of that big win over Notre Dame, and Maryland is just a really unpredictable team this year. They're either getting blown out or scoring a lot of points. Tony T, we'll start with you. Who do you like in this one, or what's the play you like?
Yeah, I like the Wolverines here minus 21. They've pounded this Terrapins team the past 4 seasons with wins and covers by 21 points or greater. That's the winning margin there. But, they figured out Maryland. This is a one-dimensional team that runs the football. They've been shuffling in quarterbacks with really no success. Michigan can defend that run very well. And, of course, the Terrapins coming off a pounding at Minnesota. I think Michigan is going to try to continue with this positive momentum as they lead into their game against Ohio State later in November. I like Michigan here laying the points.
All right, Craig, what do you think?
Well, I wouldn't talk anybody off of Michigan this week. After last week, I was totally wrong. Jim Harbaugh hadn't won a big game in forever. Well, he finally won a big game, and it was against, of course, one of the teams I like in Notre Dame. But I don't like playing these bigger numbers usually at this point of the season. I think the much better play is the under 56 in this one. I think the last 2 times they played at Maryland, both games went under. I think this is another lower scoring game. I think Michigan will be up early, and they'll be able to coast late, just running the ball a lot. And like Tony said, Maryland likes to run the ball. I think that will lead to a lot less possessions in this game, a lot less plays, and a lot less scoring. So let's take the under 56.
I will say that Michigan-Notre Dame game was probably pretty hard to bet because those are 2 of the most overhyped teams in all of college football. That was the overhyped bowl between Harbaugh and Notre Dame. Those are 2 teams that continually get a lot of credit. That's my 2 cents. Let's move on to Georgia and Florida. The number 8 Bulldogs favored minus 6.5 in this one. Total sits at 44.5. This is a big game in the SEC East. This is a rivalry game. It's played in Jacksonville and always a fun one to watch. But when we're talking about betting, Tony T, how do you see this one rolling?
I heard it's a better one to attend as well. But anyway, I like this game a lot, Chelsea. You can pick it up right now over at picksandparlays.net.
Say they do not call it the world's largest cocktail party in the world. I think I said that twice. For nothing. I've been there. It's a lot of fun, and a lot of people drink a lot before noon. So, all right, let's get a sober pick in here. Craig, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, like Tony said, this is as big as it gets. I think loser is out of the SEC championship play action here. So for that side of the conference, I think Georgia gets the win here. I don't know about the points. I think that's right where it should be. I see it anywhere from 6 to 6.5. So shop around. I even see it at 7.5 if you're in the U.S. betting legally at 888. But I'm going to play the under here. I just think under 45. I see it at, and this line opened at under 48. I think it was an advanced line, but either way, this line has the total has come down. I think that speaks volumes. Last 4 years, the under is 2-1-1, and last year it was 36-17 with Georgia winning pretty easily. I think this year it's a much closer game, which means a way lower scoring than last year. And I think the under 45 is a solid play. Georgia versus Florida here in Jacksonville, like you said.
The only reason I wouldn't take Georgia in this one is because, as we've seen this year, they've been really conservative with their play calling, and that doesn't turn out well for bettors sometimes. They're only 3-4 against the spread, so something of note if you're betting that game. Let's move on to Miami, Florida State, another rivalry game. Florida State favored -3 in this one. Total sits at 47. Tony T, what stands out to you about this game, and who do you like?
I like in this one, I like to go under total here of 47. There's some 47.5s out there, so go ahead and shop. There's a lot to like with this Miami defense. Just very little to like with them offensively. They don't run the ball very well. Past 3 games, just 3.3 yards to carry on the ground, putting up 20 points. They're going to look to a freshman quarterback here, Jaron Williams, to get the start. He completed half his passes last week at Pitt coming off the bench. But again, Florida State has really not shown much offense against the better teams in the ACC. 20 points at Wake Forest, 14 at Clemson. Despite their talent running back, they're only generating 3.8 yards a carry on the ground, and they run the ball 37 times a game. So here, matter of fact, head-to-head, they've gone under in 7 of their past 8. Let's go Miami, Florida State, under 47.5.
Yeah, and FSU has actually hit the under in their 5 last game straight. So another play to look at. Craig, what do you like in this one?
Get one of these games in the rapid fire week and called the yuck game of the week. This is definitely the yuck game. Even though it's a huge rivalry game, of course, to the state of Florida, I just think you have to take the points with Miami. This line opened in the 1.5 range up to 3. Let's take Miami with the points. I just think this is going to come right down to the wire. I don't think either one of these offenses are very good. I think the total under is strong as well, Tony, because I think the defenses are way faster and way farther along at this point of the season. So let's take Miami plus the 3 here in the rivalry matchup.
Next up, let's head out west. We're doing Utah and Washington. The number 9 Utes favored in this one, minus 3.5. Total sits at 47.5. Utah 7-1, 5-3 against the spread. Washington is 5-3 and also 5-3 against the spread. Tony T, where are you leaning?
I'm looking here at this one, under total of 47.5. Utes defense has really improved after that loss to USC. They go up an average of 6 points per game past 4 games, and they've gone under in 6 straight. This is a defense that's holding opponents at 231 yards, 2.5 yards on the ground. Last year, they faced each other twice. Of course, they did meet in the Pac-12 title game. It easily went under 10-3, and both games went under last year. So, facing each other twice last year, there's familiarity between these clubs. They know each other. It's tight, low scoring. I like under 47.5.
And Utah's actually been one of the best defenses in the entire nation. Statistically, they lead the country in rush defense, averaging only 56 yards per game to opponents, and they're coming off that big 35-0 win over Cal. Craig, who do you like in this one?
Well, I like this one a lot. I think Utah is clearly the better team here. I went into the year thinking Utah had an outside chance to play in the national championship or in the playoffs. Of course, that loss at USC on a midweek game a few weeks back, or about a month back now, probably puts them out unless something really weird happens. But I still think Utah's defense is elite, one of the best in the country, and I think they go on the road here and get this W. Let's take Utah minus 3. I even see some 3.5, see some 2.5, so make sure you shop this one around. But we'll just call it Utah minus 3 at Washington in a really good Pac-12 matchup. Maybe one of the best games of the week, actually.
Up next, heading to the SEC for Ole Miss at Auburn. The number 11 Tigers favored 19.5 in this one. That's a big number to cover. But the Tigers are 7-1 against the spread. They've been really good for bettors. 6-2 on the season. Ole Miss is 3-5, 4-4 against the spread. Tony T, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like the Ole Miss side here. Shop around because you can find some 20s in some places. The Rebels are showing signs of improvement. Of course, quarterback Matt Corral saw some action in that 7-point loss to Texas A&M. He made plays also in the passing game. And they're running the football. Remember, Rich Rod, offensive coordinator, likes to run the football. 250 yards in that game against the Aggies, 5.7 yards on the ground. Now, Auburn's limited really by Bo Mix at quarterbacks, completing just over half his passes. In his past 3 games, 5 touchdowns, but 4 picks. It's also a tough spot for Auburn coming off that physical road game at LSU, and Ole Miss coming off the bye. So Ole Miss will be, really fresh for this one. Of course, remember, Ole Miss did put up 27 at Missouri, 31 at Alabama, covering both of those road games in the SEC. I'll take the points plus 20 with Ole Miss.
I will say Auburn is 5-0 against the spread at home. Something to look at, something to consider. Craig, what do you think?
Well, Auburn at home has been very good for years, but this is actually my SEC game of the week. You can get it over at picksandparlays.net. And don't forget, get in on that. Also, all of our best bets, NBA, college hoops coming up, and, of course, NHL action.
Right. The big news on the Plains for Auburn is that their backup quarterback, Joey Gatewood, announced his transfer this week. So there could be a little turmoil when it comes to practice and Gus Malzahn and that team, because I know a lot of people really like Joey Gatewood. He was a package quarterback, a big guy that they brought in just in certain situations. And like Tony mentioned, Bo Nix has not been the best quarterback statistically. So the thing is, he hasn't really been that good statistically all season long, and somehow they've gone 7-1 against the spread. Let's move on to Oregon and USC, a big Pac-12 matchup here. The Ducks favor in this one at -4.5. Total at 62. Oregon is 7-1, 4-4 against the spread. USC 5-3 and 4-4 against the spread. Tony T, what's the play on this one?
Yeah, I like the USC here at +4.5. I like their form at home. Remember that Utah win? I like the way they played Arizona. That's always a tricky game, facing that dual threat quarterback there for Arizona. And they came away well with that one at home. They're moving the football 442 yards. Of course, Keenan Slovis, 72% completion rate. 13 touchdowns, 5 picks. Offensively, Oregon just not as explosive on the road. They rushed for just 3.5 yards a carry. And of course, again, the defense showed up well in that Utah and Arizona win. I'm going to take the points here with USC +4.5.
Right, as you mentioned, USC, all 5 of their wins have come at home. Craig, who do you like?
Well, as Nick likes to say, this is the University of Spoiled Children here. I'm going the opposite way of Tony. We're going to take Oregon +4.5 or -4.5. I just think their defense is slightly better, and I think that's where it's going to come down to. I think the total is way too high, too. I think 62. I think both of these teams play under 30 here, so I think that'll get us the total as an under. But my top play in this one's going to be Oregon -4.5.
Right. You might get a 15-second penalty for unnecessary insults to the poor people at USC. I guess I shouldn't say poor. But
that's right.
All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Virginia, UNC. The Tar Heels favored in this one, -2.5. Total sits at 47. UVA 5-3, 3-4-1 against the spread. Meanwhile, UNC is 4-4, 4-3-1 against the spread. It's been a wild season for Mac Brown and the Tar Heels at UNC, coming off that wild 20-17 win over Duke. And Virginia coming off a 28-21 loss to Louisville. What stands out to you in this matchup, Tony T?
What stands out to me here is North Carolina offense. I'm gonna take care of North Carolina -2.5. And the reason for that is they're able to move the football. Sam Howell under center, 13 touchdowns, 4 picks in his past 4 games, all against the conference. And of course, the past 3 games, Tar Heels 503 yards of offense, 33 points a game. And I just don't trust the Virginia quarterback. Bryce Perkins struggles with turnovers.
All right, Craig, what do you think?
Well, real quick, North Carolina -2.5. I love what Mac Brown has done. I think that momentum continues this week. Virginia's a couple disappointing losses here, so we're going to fade Virginia. Take North Carolina and the momentum here.
All right, that is college football rapid fire on Picks and Parlays. Thanks, Tony T and Craig, for joining us. We're back after the break for more Picks and Parlays.
Withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Attention business owners. Now
is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for the business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome back to Picks and Parlays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network and also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you search Picks and Parlays, we're really easy to find on any of those social media platforms. I'm your host, Chelsa Messinger. You can find me at Chelsa Messinger on Twitter. And today's question of the day, what's your favorite Halloween candy? Because I've seen a lot of discord and disagreement on Twitter on what the best candy is. Personally, I'm a fan of Reese's, and I think in the fruity category, probably Starburst, because I think chocolate and then other flavors deserve to be, separated. It's not the same taste. I will say, not a big fan of Almond Joy and Mounds. Don't give me those. They're not good. That's my hot take of the day. But let's get to our picks. Let's recap all of today's picks, starting with some. We had a couple of matchups. Bournemouth, Manchester United at plus 155. Crystal Palace, Leicester. Take Leicester plus 121. Sheffield United versus Burnley, taking Sheffield United plus 129. And then moving on to NFL picks with Chip Chirimbes. Detroit, Oakland, taking the over in that one. 50.5 is the over-under. Cleveland, Denver, taking the under to hit 39, or under 39, I should say. New England, Baltimore, taking the under in that one as well to hit below 45.5. Moving on to our college football rapid fire picks. Tony T gave us Utah, Washington. He likes the under, 47.5. Ole Miss, Auburn, taking Ole Miss plus 20. Oregon, USC, taking USC plus 4.5. Florida, Georgia is his signature pick for this week. And then Craig Trapp, Michigan, Maryland, he's taking the under at 56. Utah, Washington, taking the Utes at plus 3. Oregon, USC, taking the Ducks minus 4.5. And Ole Miss and Auburn is his SEC game of the week. Head over to picksandparlays.net for more picks. Until tomorrow, thanks for joining us on Picks and Parlays.